The Miami Dolphins, with the 55th pick, select Patrick Paul, tackle from the University of Houston.
So we go back-to-back with really athletic guys who are still trying to chase their potential out there. Patrick Paul is enormous. You look at his arm length, it's ridiculous. 36.25-inch arms on 331 pounds with that 6'7" height. There were people that had him in this range in the 50s. There were other people that had him down more towards the 4th round. So again, this early portion of the draft, those top 40, 50 names, a lot of consensus. After that, now you're going to see grades all over the map. But this is someone with a lot of tools you can work with, mainly that size and length.
All right, Lance, take it.
Patrick Paul, he is a 36-inch arm tackle. That is like vines. Patrick Paul has really good length. He has the ability to be a very good pass protector. There are times that he can be very impressive when he's throwing his hands on time. If you have long arms, that's great if you're timed up. If you don't time your punch well, all that length goes away and people get into your chest. But that's a matter of coaching. That can be coached up. I think the one area that he needs to work on is finishing blocks and being a grittier run blocker. Right now, as a pass protector, he's got the skills and the talent and the traits to become a good, effective left tackle. I think where he needs to get much better in this outside zone scheme, the rushing attack of Miami, is he has to stick on blocks. He's got to sustain better. He's got to show better grit, and he has to really make it a priority that it wasn't always a priority at University of Houston. But the traits are there. Right now, it just needs to be refined by the offensive line coach.
Needs to be refined, but the Miami Dolphins needed to upgrade the offensive line. This has been the sore spot of a team that has all the talent and firepower on the outside to make deep runs into the postseason, but at the line of scrimmage, in those big games, they haven't been able to control the line of scrimmage. And so you wonder, why haven't they been able to knock off the top teams? It's all at the line of scrimmage. And so Patrick Paul gives them someone that they can throw in there and hopefully change the narrative about their offensive line play.
With the 56th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Marshawn Kneeland, defensive end from Western Michigan.
All right, so they go to Kalamazoo for their pick. Across the state here, it's Western Michigan's Marshawn Kneeland.
Yeah, they lost Dorrance Armstrong in free agency. This is a rugged, physical football player. If you saw Tuli Tuipulotu play for the Chargers last year, their second-round pick out of USC, you'll see a lot of similarities. Just real rugged, physical, knock you back at the point of attack. He's got a nice little inside counter move as a rusher. The effort is tremendous. I thought he was able to adjust playing run to pass. So he's going to shut down the run, and once he realizes you're throwing the ball, then that's where you see that effort and you see that stick-to-itiveness. Time for Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. You look at those athleticism scores for edge rushers. I mean, those are some big names we've seen come off the board already in Dallas Turner and Chop Robinson. But Marshawn Kneeland's right at the top in terms of the athleticism.
You mentioned the power that he plays with, the force he plays with. That means matching up with Philadelphia, their tackles with Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. Being able to handle them at the point of attack and be able to help out Dallas. You mentioned Dorrance Armstrong no longer there. Position of need for the Cowboys, trying to fill it.
It was Marshawn Kneeland. So we were totally wrong. Off base here. We went running back, we went receiver, we
got
went
rush.
linebacker, now we got rush.
We got rush.
Why not? You can never have two men.
I like the combination of Tuipulotu.
Yeah.
I thought he really had a nice year when he was healthy this year. Marshawn Kneeland really came on strong during the draft process. This is someone, I give DJ a lot of credit. Marshawn, I didn't love him as much as Daniel Jeremiah. Daniel was speaking glowingly about him from the very first time he watched him on tape. And the more you watch him, the more he grows on you, because he's not only rugged, but he's relentless. And as a pass rusher, you want relentless players, because a lot of sacks in the NFL happen because of secondary effort. If you play with secondary effort, tackles sometimes will get tired in the rep, or they just give up on the rep. They think the play's over. And you have so many quarterback extenders now that I think it's play extenders at quarterback, that it's nice to have guys who rush with secondary effort, because they're the ones that collect the late sacks that come up.
I'll work out last. That's what pass rushers have to do. You go back in Mike Zimmer's history, just think about the pass rushers that he's had. Everson Griffin, you think about Daniil Hunter, how he created those guys. This is someone that he obviously identified. He feels like he can get the most out of him. Be interesting to see how he plays for the Cowboys.
With the 57th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft,
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Chris Braswell from Alabama, linebacker. Welcome to the crew.
Yeah, to me, he's the best available edge rusher that was still on the board. First step quickness, someone who could have transferred with all the talent they had there at Alabama. He was patient. He waited his turn. Remind me a little bit of Darrell Taylor when you've seen him with the Seattle Seahawks. At the point of attack, he plays very physical. The effort is outstanding. You don't get on the field at Alabama unless you play extremely hard. CD, this is about the perfect value for him. When you think about Yaya Diaby, they hit a home run with him, got great value. They come back and get another guy with a lot of juice, a lot of speed off the edge.
Very similar player, very similar type of a guy. And Joel spent time with Chris Braswell in the draft process run-up and asked him what it was like competing there day in and day out. And he said he and Dallas Turner spent time competing about their points gathering. You know, you get points for this, points for that.
Yes.
And every day they checked the calendar, checked the schedule, wanted to know what they were going to get into and who would accumulate the most points that day.
You know, they get a readout of how fast they hit in the previous day's practice.
GPS system?
Yeah, the GPS is called Catapult. It's a system that they wear in their pads at practice, Rich, and they can track how fast they run. He hit 21.9 miles per hour on the field. That's ridiculously fast for an edge guy.
With a quarter of
58th
million people
in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Javon Bullard, defensive back, Georgia.
I'll tell you what, the Eagles better be careful because the Green Bay Packers are starting to collect more Georgia Bulldogs than they are. You think about the guys they have there with Quay Walker at the corner position.
Devontae Wyatt up front.
You've got Devontae Wyatt up front. They've got Eric Stokes at corner, his name I was looking for there. But this is, to me, one of the best nickels in the draft. Plays safety, but can also play underneath here in the nickel. I believe that's his absolute best position. You see the instincts there to undercut this route. Eyes on the quarterback. Very physical, taking on blocks, getting through blocks, filling in the alley, and able to get runners on the ground. You have to be smart. You've got to be versatile to play in this Kirby Smart scheme on the defensive side of the ball. Also, CD's an excellent blitzer. So, again, a lot of Georgia Bulldogs on this defense here for the Green Bay Packers.
Said Green Bay once Cooper was off the board, they traded back, and here's their safety. They want a smart guy. They want somebody who's intelligent that they can put on the back end, somebody with experience. And this is, frankly, a really terrific pick for the Green Bay Packers because you can do multiple things with him. He's interchangeable. He can step down to the line of scrimmage. He can play on the back end. He's more of a split safety, I think, in a nickel than he is a traditional. You're not going to run him as a single high safety very often, but you can really bring him around the line of scrimmage and let him really have an impact on what the defense can do to offenses. You want to put them on the back foot. You know, we got all these offenses that stick it to defenses. Sometimes you like to have a player that's a force multiplier inside the box, and that's what he can be.
Yeah, he certainly can do that. He's very versatile. When you look at the Georgia defense and how they deployed him and some of the other guys, they moved all those guys around. I feel like it's a rite of passage to be able to play in the slot before you play your full-time position. Javon Bullard is an instinctive player, outstanding player.
Okay, so the Green Bay Packers have made their second pick of the first round, pairing Javon Bullard with Edgerrin Cooper, who they took at pick number 45. So a couple of players to help out that defense with Jeff Hafley.
With the 59th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Blake Fisher, tackle, Notre Dame. Yes, sir, Steve.
And this was my highest rated tackle that was still sitting out there. Blake Fisher, just a redshirt sophomore. He is one of the younger guys in this group. The foot quickness, the punch and slide, and again, he's young, so he's still developing. I believe if he goes back to school next year, we're talking about him as a potential first-round pick. He decided to leave with his bookend tackle, and Joe Alt, he enters into the NFL. But CD, when you watched him as a young player, this is someone who shows you everything. It's just not all there yet. He's a little bit tight, has a little bit of ankle stiffness there, but I think he's going to be a better player a year from now than he is right now.
And you know what I think they want to do? They want to see if he can hold down that right tackle spot and then get Titus Howard inside the guard, who played a lot of that last year when they had injuries and had to shuffle the offensive line. This feels like that type of a move by Nick Caserio, the GM, to try and get that offensive line fortified for C.J. Stroud.
This is interesting. Blake Fisher, they just gave a contract to Titus Howard the year before, just last year before the season started, and now you draft Blake Fisher, who is a tackle. Make no mistake, he's a right tackle, left tackle. On tape, there are moments where you say, man, this guy's as good as Joe Alt. I mean, he has some really, really good moments on tape. He came in as a highly regarded prospect, but was a little inconsistent. Could never snatch the mantle of left tackle away from Joe Alt early on in their careers. But when you watch him, he is just somebody with strong hands. He has the ability to get to a spot, his landmarks. In Notre Dame, you're going to be a better run blocker. You pay attention to hand usage. You pay attention to your landmarks. He's an athletic tackle, which is something that you've got to have for Bobby Slowick in that outside zone offense. But more importantly, I think this is very intriguing because I know the left guard is a position right now for the Texans. It's a little bit of an open spot. There's going to be competition there. I just wonder if they're maybe thinking of moving Titus Howard down there again to left guard where he hasn't been very good, or if they think Blake Fisher can play some guard early in his career. I don't know.
I just remember C.J. Stroud playing against the Jaguars, second game of the season, had to play with 4 backup offensive linemen. So after you played like that, maybe you just want to make sure that you have enough depth to always ensure that your franchise quarterback has good people in front of him.
And look, Kenyon Green has been banged up, right? Was the 2022 first-round pick. Did not play last year. Put him back at guard. Juice Scruggs, center. Is this a Shaq Mason replacement at right guard?
With the 60th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Cole Bishop, DB, Utah.
Now, they've lost some guys in the back end. Charles, you've been talking about that. One of your favorite guys here, Cole Bishop. He was my next rated safety on the board here. Big-time ball magnet. You can use him to match up and cover tight ends and plays with huge energy. Another one of those guys where it just feels like if the ball's ever on the ground, Cole Bishop's there to pick it up. Always Johnny on the spot, always around the football. Against the run, you can use him as this nickelbacker role because he can play inside, he can bang off blocks, he can really play the run. We always say backers on backs equals sacks. When he's in that spot going up against backs, he has a very high batting average. And CD, here he is working against tight ends. Not only covering it, but being able to take the football away.
Let's face it, Eric Weddle, the patron saint of those DBs at Utah. Marcus Williams came out of there, but Marcus Williams more of a center field guy. You've seen Cole Bishop.
Safety. Here we go. Cole Bishop from Utah. He is built like an NFL safety. He is a player with good instincts and just finds his way to the football. He ran a 4.45 40, as you saw right there. So we've got size, we've got speed, we've got the physical traits, we've got the athletic traits, we've got the physicality of what Buffalo is going to want out of the safety position and how they like to play it. Basically Buffalo is saying, look, this worked really well for us having good safeties. We're not going to shirk our responsibility and not prioritize safety. And I like that they're doing this. Cole Bishop is a player who got hot during the process. I think at one point he was really considered more of a third rounder. And then I kept hearing, I think defensive back coaches got involved in and said, no. This isn't a third rounder. Yeah. This is a guy we want starting. We want to make sure that we get him in the second round so we have a starting safety that looks like a pro safety.
He looks the part, plays the part. He is one that was a late riser, kind of caught fire late in the process. When you draft in the second round, the expectation you should be starting by year 2. Really good player, really good fit in Buffalo, and they've done a really good job with players.
Yeah, and look, the Buffalo Bills needed a safety. Lost Jordan Poyer, who's been a big piece of their calculus there in the secondary.
And with the 61st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Ennis Rakestraw Jr., defensive back, Missouri.
Your guy, DJ, just went off the board.
Yeah, one of my favorites and my highest rated player still on the board. I had him at 32 overall in this draft. I believe he would have been a first-round pick, but he had a groin injury, wasn't able to be healthy, ran at the combine, ran a 4.51 at about 80%. When you watch him on tape, I didn't have any issues or concerns whatsoever with his speed. He is very feisty. He plays with a huge energy, and for someone who's only 183 pounds, he plays like a 200-pound corner. He has not found contact that he would want to avoid. Big-time motor. I love the fact that you see the big hit here on Jaden Daniels. He gets up and celebrates. He has that corner vibe, Joel, that corner energy that he brings. And I love the fact you can line him up nose to nose and play man coverage. And he's going to team up with Terrion Arnold now with the Detroit Lions. They got 2 of the best 5 corners in this draft class.
And picked up Carlton Davis in free agency.
Second team now to double down on cornerbacks. The Eagles did it with Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and now the Lions have done it with Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw.
Yeah, so look, it's a theme. And one thing that you know about Detroit, there is a very clear picture of what they want to do culturally. They want to be tough. They want to be physical. Grit was the mantra last year, where Aaron Glenn has now added 2 gritty competitors on the perimeter. Think about Kool-Aid McKinstry. Now you have Ennis Rakestraw. They want to get in your face. They want to play. And they are going to demand that their guys are not only competitive in the passing game, but they're going to compete in the running game. They're going to come up and tackle and be very, very physical.
Yeah, it's what you see from Ennis Rakestraw. Like, he squats on a lot of routes. So the question I have is, how's he going to handle double moves? Because he sets himself up for that. That's one of the concerns, and he doesn't have blazing makeup speed. But man, if you want to have safety help over the top and you allow him to squat on routes and really try to play the football, he is really impressive. I mean, he makes a lot of plays on the football. He's very, very aggressive. There's just, he's going to be for certain coverages. You want to run certain coverages, you need to have certain help over the top for him because he's looking to make plays. He's not trying to just keep everything in front of him. He wants to go get the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that Aaron Glenn and Detroit really wanted to add to their secondary, is somebody who can go make plays.
With the 62nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Roger Rosengarten, tackle, Washington.
That's the 5th offensive player from Washington that's got drafted already. That was a big-time program they had last year, especially on that side of the ball. Really aggressive in pass protection. He tested outstanding. Ran a 4.92, so a sub-5 flat 40. Played that right side, protecting the blind side of the left-handed quarterback there in Michael Vick. On the other side, you had Fautanu. Fautanu had a little more snap, a little more power. That's why he went off first. But you also have excellent footwork and excellent technique on the right side here with Rosengarten. Keep in mind, CD, Morgan Moses, he goes to the Jets. Now they've got someone who can plug in there.
And Ronnie Stanley's been injury prone on the left side. So my question comes back to you. With that footwork, with that speed, could he be a candidate to be a guy who could move to the left side? Because Daniel Faalele from Minnesota, the mountain of a man, is over there on the right side right now. Could he be a candidate?
Well, Faalele can play some guard at that side too, but he has left tackle feet. That's the term we use in scouting. Do you have left tackle feet? He has left tackle feet.
He might have those traits, Joel, where he could go over there, because Stanley has had a tough time staying healthy and staying on the field. And John Harbaugh said coming in this draft, offensive line has to happen.
He has left tackle experience. He only moved to right because Penix is left-handed. So it was specifically to protect that blind side. Also, by the way, pretty prominent high school he went to, Valor High School, home of the McCaffreys. All those McCaffreys,
and a lot of state championships as well,
including Wyndham Clark, U.S. Open reigning champ Wyndham Clark.
Okay, what do we got on Roger Rosengarten, another piece of that Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line?
Yeah, he kind of reminds me, they don't play the same position, but I remember when Ben Powers got drafted by the Ravens, and I thought, well, there's some limitations here, but he's just tough. Like, he did a nice job over there for the Ravens because he's a tough guy. Roger Rosengarten is tough. I think there's some limitations from a pass pro standpoint. He gives ground in terms of against bull rushers, and I do question his range in pass sets. What I don't question, though, is his ability to play with competitiveness and toughness. He can play inside and outside zone. It's something that he did a lot of. You see the quick footwork, very well coached. Scott Huff is a very good offensive line coach over at Washington. Went to Seattle. He's now at the Seahawks. Yeah. And Scott does a really good job of getting his guys into position after the snap. In other words, landmarks are important. You need to be here to cut off this backside defender, and he gets them there on time. So Roger Rosengarten has the ability to help expand your running game wide a little bit. I do question, though, some of the athletic traits and how he's going to handle pass protection on the NFL level. This will be an interesting fit. I thought he was more of a third-round pick, but I was told second or third is where he's going because he got hot with some teams. And so, sure enough, the intel was right. He ends up in the second round here.
And this is the Baltimore Ravens really attacking the need.
Yeah.
They needed to upgrade their offensive line. And as this offense changed, remember, Todd Monken comes in. They've gone away from the Greg Roman system. So they had to change the furniture up front. Now they should be a little more mobile, a little more dynamic when it comes to
I love that change the furniture.
Yeah,
every year I learn new things.
Tampa City 49ers have traded a 63 pick to Kansas City Chiefs. With the 63 pick in the 24 draft, Kansas City select Kinsley Suamaiya from BYU, tackle. Let's go, Chiefs!
Suamatia is a little bit of a project player with big-time traits and tools, and Andy Reid going and getting himself a BYU project to have some fun with. You can easily connect the dots there. The size is excellent. You look at that big almost 6'5" frame with very long arms, 34 and change inch arms. I thought focus lapsed at times. We saw him at the Senior Bowl CD. It was a very up and down week there, but the platform of tools is there to work with. You're going to have to be patient, though. There's some development to take place.
Very similar to Blake Freeland coming out last year in terms of athletic ability, and maybe a little bit more and a little bit thicker. And you'll see the athletic ability here as he comes out of the pool and sticks the landing on the deck. Remember last year, Joel, Donovan Smith held down the left tackle for him. He's not on the roster right now, but there's conversation about maybe him coming back. Suamatea is going to get a shot at left tackle.
He's played right and left in back-to-back years, 21 and 22, so he's flipped sides.
Well, they're going to hope he ends up as good as his cousin. Penei Sewell's turned out pretty well.
Exactly right.
All right, here it is. Kingsley Suamatea.
Nice.
From BYU.
Well, I guess, so the word is that Andy loves BYU guys. I mean, he loves BYU players.
Homer.
You can see it in his drafts and his undrafted free agents. Yeah. He went to BYU. He's going to go get a BYU guy. And word was that this was one of the players that he really liked. And once you saw Rosengarten go off the board, San Francisco has a need at right tackle. It made sense that Andy said, I'm not messing around. I'll give you an extra pick. I'm going to go get my tackle. I think Kingsley Suamatea.
Very good. Onomatopoeia. Suamatea.
I think what he needs to do is work on consistency. I think he's a year away. The talent is there. The traits are there. A lot of the physical stuff is in place, and there's flashes on the football field, but it's not always consistent. And I think he hurt himself at the Senior Bowl, frankly, because at Senior Bowl, he really raised questions about how he was going to handle NFL rush. He was just very inconsistent in the one-on-one drills. And so I think right now what he needs to do is get into a winning program, which obviously he's at right now with Kansas City Chiefs, and really learn from veterans, take the coaching. We'll see how the year one goes, make him maybe a swing tackle that can sit behind the veterans and learn a little bit, and then bring him along slowly for year two. I think if you throw him in the fire early on, it could be really challenging for him, and that's not something you want to do with somebody so valuable as Pat Mahomes there in the backfield as your quarterback.
The Kansas City Chiefs are looking to continue to flip their offensive line. I mean, that's a fantastic.
They got the Tristan Wirfs.
Not supposed to be able to jump out the pool like that. So that speaks to his strength and his athleticism.
I've been to that
bringing. And so that athleticism might allow him to
That's my man right there.
That's Kingsley.
That's your guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't have that on the draft profile?
No, I didn't see jump out of the pool
like that.
I didn't have that in strengths.
That's a Kingsley Suamatea, the second to last pick of the second round.
With the 64th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers select Renardo Green, DB, Florida State. Detroit, I love you.
Yeah, Renardo Green, when you're watching him, the game that you're going to hang on to if you're a big fan of Renardo Green is the battle he had against Malik Neighbors. He was very competitive in that game. He's got really quick feet, and he's an outstanding blitzer. Here he is in that game against LSU, getting his head around, cutting him off down there in the red zone, poking that ball away. See some of the mirror and match skills underneath. Very feisty, very competitive. His size sometimes is someone who's 186 pounds. There are times he gets run over a little bit trying to get in there and make plays against the run. Will Shipley got him in that Clemson game, but there's a willingness there in terms of the toughness, and that's something you can build with there, Joel.
Led the ACC in passes defended with 14, and you touched on that film against LSU. They handled LSU that night, opening the season. That was a huge matchup, a lot of hype surrounding the LSU team, and rightly so because of what we saw the rest of the year. Florida State shut him down. A lot of that was Renaldo Green. He's got safety in his background as well, CD, but mostly outside corner last year.
Tutored by former NFL cornerback Jeremy Lincoln, does a great job with him. And one of the things that Daniel touched on is a big part of his game. He doesn't know he's 186 pounds. He thinks he's 220, and he wants to take on everyone. So he's got that toughness element to him. But I do believe San Francisco's going to want him to be on an outside corner. and try and find a spot there opposite Travaris Ward.
We were literally just talking about Renardo Green as one of the best available corners.
I better recognize.
San Francisco 49ers, Lance Zierlein, taking him off the board.
He's in the 4th round. Hey, NFL people tell me he's in the 4th round. You better recognize. Renardo Green can ball. All you have to do is turn on the LSU game where he was checking not just Malik Neighbors, but Brian Thomas. All you're going to see here is a hound dog. Like, you cannot get away from him. Yep. Underneath, he has rare change of direction quickness. He's built kind of low to the ground. And I couldn't believe how quickly he could snap off those comeback routes. You know, Bucky, as a DB, there's some guys who are just too, the center of gravity is just a little too high. They just can't stop and come back. But Renardo Green is on every route underneath. It was just unbelievable to watch. There is some question about his long speed, and he's not the biggest cornerback, but I think he is a really talented cornerback. There's a difference of opinion around league circles, but for me, he's someone that I brought up early on in the process because I like guys that can make plays, and I like guys that can slow down Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. You slow down Malik Neighbors, and you got my attention, and he did that early this year.
Yeah, Renardo Green, there's some love. Like Lance, I gave
Yeah.
Lance some credit. We started talking about him, buzzing. I think we talked about him a few times on Path to the Draft. Lance tipped me off to him. We started looking at the tape, and you're right. That LSU game, he's nose to nose, and you called him a hound dog. I call him a junkyard dog.
Yeah, I like
he is
that.
not afraid of the smoke. He is energetic, competitive, and that competitiveness is contagious. He is a nice fit in San Francisco.